It's me, your horror host, Richard Asplin, just dropping by for a moment to offer you a free glimpse into the first coming bonus episode. This feature-length tour is a time-travelling spin full of quotes, reenactments, trailers and tribunals, telling the story of how the video-nasty moral panic of the early 80s came about. Key players, key movies, all from the comfort of a time-travelling DeLorean. The full show will be available for subscribers, an exclusive club you can join via Patreon or Apple Podcasts, but to tempt you, here's a little slice. Picture this. It's 1965, England. It's probably raining. Running the country is the Labour Party's pipe-puffing Harold Wilson. Thunderbirds are flying for the first time on TV. Churchill has just died. Round the Horn is camping it up on the radio. Yesterday is in the charts, and Help is at the movies. Dads are reading Ian Fleming, and mums are daring to try Mary Quant's new miniskirts. It's the mid-60s. Think The Knack and How to Get It for the visuals, rather than Austin Powers. While all of this goes on, over a milky cup of tea in Middle England, a 55-year-old woman is simmering and cultivating an idea that will, one day soon, change the face of British horror movies. Yep, pretty much without even upsetting her cuppa.
Mary Whitehouse.
A name to strike a variety of feelings in a number of folk, depending on who they are. For some, a well-meaning, decent woman wanting the best for her country and countrymen. For others, a prim, uptight, shrieking fusspot busybody who longs for the Victorian age when there were skirts on the piano legs and side whiskers on every gentleman. For those born mid-70s, it'll be the name of a British comedy sketch show, and quite a weird one at that. But we'll get to her qualifications for the horror house of infamy later. In 1965, Mary is at her kitchen table, pen in one hand, rich tea biscuit in the other, about to up the ante on her cause to clean up the television of the United Kingdom. Too much sex, too much swearing, too much idleness, too much of anything that isn't wholesome, Enid Blyton-y Christian fare. She and her husband Ernest, along with a local reverend, have been running a slowly growing Clean Up TV campaign for about a year or so.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mary Whitehouse speaking.
Nipping at the heels of the then director of the BBC, Hugh Green, Whitehouse and her 500,000 petition signatories were falling into action as they saw the era's broadcasting, in their words, as the propaganda of disbelief, doubt and dirt, promiscuity, infidelity and drinking. In place of this, they argued, the BBC's activities should encourage and sustain faith in God and bring Him back to the hearts of our family and national life. You get the idea. We join Whitehouse and her biscuits here as she and her pals are about to go pro. More official, more officious than just harmless petitions and letter writing about standards. She's about to launch the National Viewers and Listeners Association, the Premier League of complainers, as opposed to the softer third division she'd been kicking around with till then. An organisation that will grow in 15 years' time to have more power than Thanos. And sadly, the same amount of confusion about how best to use it. She's brought in Christian activist Charles Oakley to act as their vice president, and the organisation has started to go toe to slingback with filmmakers, producers, playwrights and broadcasters to remove the bad influence she felt radio and television was having on the country's moral fibre. Now, Whitehouse and her NVLA activists were more than just neighbourhood busybodies. It is alleged that her group's persistent and prickly letters that bombarded Harold Wilson and his government in the 60s caused all sorts of political hot potatoes, certainly hotter than any of the sex she'd permit on television. Belligerently demanding responses, apologies and redactions, civil servants reportedly just began to lose Whitehouse's letters to avoid the stresses and strains of having to answer to this flag-waving troupe of Christian evangelists. Popping up on news items and daytime TV, Whitehouse's bespectacled face became a regular feature on the BBC as she moaned and mooed and spoil-sported everything over the next few years that she and her association felt, well, if you enjoyed that, the full episode is available via subscription at Patreon or Apple Podcasts.